Okay, I just unboxed and set up the Pixel 9, and so far my first impressions are pretty positive. I feel like this generation of phones, the Pixel 9 series as a whole, has been a lot more polished and refined compared to the other ones. So if you're ever on the fence about getting a Pixel phone, this is definitely worth a look. It feels to me like Google has finally brought the Pixel lineup to the flagship level where it's supposed to be. And I'm not just saying that because they've increased the price, but I'm also saying that because it's genuinely more polished. And as you've probably seen by now, they got this new camera bump design, which people are hating on, but I honestly really like it. It looks so clean and nice. Now the phone itself is made out of glass, aluminum, and glass, no plastic, but just listen to this. Now compare that to my S23 Plus over here. Like, it sounds more hollow and kind of gives it like a plasticky tone to it. Like, I don't know, it sounds kind of cheap, but it doesn't feel cheap, if that makes sense. It doesn't really matter, but it's just something that I've noticed. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention they finally changed the fingerprint sensor to be ultrasonic instead of optical like on the other phones. So if you've ever used an older Pixel phone and done the fingerprint sensor, it usually lights up that portion of your finger because it's an optical sensor. This is supposed to be ultrasonic, which is supposed to be faster and more reliable, so finally, good job. Also, another thing to note is that the display has 120 Hz to make it smooth, but it's turned off by default. So you gotta go into settings, turn on smooth display, and while it's off by default, probably to save battery, it just feels so much smoother when it's on. But yeah, so far I am really liking this design. It feels like a step up. Now the big thing about these phones, as with any other phone release in 2024, they're marketing AI. And with everybody that I've talked to about AI on phones, they either don't care about it or don't see themselves using those features that much. Now me personally, there are some AI features that I just wouldn't ever use, and there are some where I'm like, okay, cool. Like for example, the AI weather report that just summarizes the whole day's weather in a couple sentences. I feel like I would use that. And the other feature that I find pretty cool is the one where you can add yourself in photos where you don't have somebody to hold your phone. I'll show that in my review when I make the review for this phone, but those are probably the ones that I find really useful that they've introduced. But apart from all that, you would get a Pixel phone for its software. And so far, the Pixel 9 software has been great. It's been fluid as ever, and it's just easy and intuitive to use. That's why actually when people want to switch from iPhone to Android, the first thing I would recommend is a Pixel, because they're fluid, they're easy to use because they don't have too many overwhelming features that some people don't really know and don't really want to know. So they're basic, but they're fluid, and they're good phones. And actually, when I was setting up this phone, it was explaining to me how to even use the gestures. And I could see that being useful for a lot of people that don't know how to use the gestures, and it's just good to have when you're using a phone for the first time. Just to compare, when you're setting up a Samsung, they don't explain how to use gestures, or even that the fact that you have a choice between gestures and buttons. So anyways, that's essentially what I think about this phone so far. The software has been great, the design feels better, and overall it's looking pretty good. Now obviously I still need to do further testing to see how it actually performs. So wait for my day in the life review where I'll be actually testing it throughout the whole day, and you'll see how it performs and if it's something that you should even get. But yeah, looking good so far. We'll have to do more testing, and until then, if you liked this video then like it, and if you loved it then subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.